Welcome, everybody, to the UMG Gaming Studios for the Gears Challenger Series Split 2, Phase 1, Week 2. That's a long title. We're going to work on that. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Colin DeCrow Clark. It's going to be a great night, and I wouldn't want to spend my Monday any other way. Colin, how you feeling, brother?
Absolutely fantastic. You took the words right out of my mouth. Look, I could be anywhere in the world, but right here, right now, with you casting over some of our best amateurs in the world, trying to get their shot to stay in the running for that relegation tournament coming up in a few weeks. They're trying to get those reps in. So this is where you want to be. This is where the heart and soul of Gears is going to come out.
100%. I was thinking about this before we went live, and, I wanted to talk a little bit, or get personal, if you will, to the teams that are competing today. Don't set the expectation about, just playing the current teams that are in the bracket, right? Set the expectations that you will be playing against pro caliber teams in the future. That's going to be your competition, right? And if you want to strive to be better, you can't just settle on just this bracket alone tonight or the bracket in the future weeks. You got to settle with beating, the likes of Pittsburgh Knights. You got to settle with beating the likes such as Hyde, Fire and Ice, right? That's the competition that you want to strive to beat. But yeah, it's going to be a great night, Colin. I can't wait. We got some familiar faces coming back into the mix. So let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket, see who we're going to have tonight. And man, we got Double R, Papa Choccy Milk, man. These are two teams. Last week, they played fairly well. Actually, Double R played flawlessly, right? They ended up winning week number 1. Papa Choccy Milk, they need to improve. Last week was not what they wanted, but it's nice to see some new faces as well. Carnage Gaming, I say new, at least new whenever it comes to the Gears Challenger Series Split 2 Phase 1. But Mars is also here. Now, Mars is an interesting roster. I like them. Very, very close to qualifying through that last chance qualifier, but they just missed it, being beat out by Remedy. And I believe that series was like 2-1. So you got 3 members from that old ALRM roster playing with the new edition of Zoom. But man, if you look throughout the quarterfinals, Immortals, the only name, or Immortals and Driven by Fear, I guess. I do recognize them. They were here last week, but a little bit short this week. Colin, did you get the follow last week at all?
I did. You know how I am. I put it on some TV somewhere in the house. I might be on daddy duty, but it's playing over the loudspeakers. My daughter's probably curious who the hell is screaming in the background, and I usually got to tell him. I said, look, that damn Swarm's getting popped in the dome again. All right, he's getting his head blown clean off, and Dad's just trying to play blocks right now. That's all.
That's it. Hey, man, daddy duty plus caster, you're just an amazing man. Let's go and look at our schedule, see how tonight's going to work out. Double R face off against Papa Choccy Milk to start us off. Then we got Carnage Gaming versus Mars. Love that logo, by the way. And then we got, of course, our grand finals that'll be coming up. Whoever wins those 2 semifinal matches. It's going to be a fun night tonight. I want you guys supporting whatever team you guys want to win. But let's go and get into it. Go ahead and talk about Double R versus Papa Choccy Milk. Now, Colin, you've been waiting to cast over Papa Choccy Milk, man.
I have, for a very, very special reason in my heart, Taylor, because most of you might not know this, but your boy, as I reach down into my fridge and pull it out, your boy, he's the master of Choccy Milk, ladies and gentlemen.
In the mason jar, baby.
The mason bell jar, just like I told you. Homegrown, you got to put it in a nice, crispy, cold mug. Get that thing nice and chocolatey. Boy, it'll take the pain away. Don't let the haters tell you otherwise. It'll take the pain away.
Hey, chocolate milk is one of the best things ever invented. That's going to mess with your throat, but you're committed, and I don't blame you, man. I would definitely have to commit to some chocolate milk right now. By the way, if you want to see his quote, if you just go to our previous videos, it's literally there. That's he ended up tweeting out about Papa Choccy Milk, and well, he's our thumbnail. Actually, 3 videos in a row. Pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and talk about our first team, though, that we're getting into the mix. Of course, we have to talk about Choccy. Papa Choccy Milk. We got Bronny, FlawHimself, Zeantre. Not Zeantre, not anything crazy. Zeantre was corrected last week. It's good to see him back, along with Vino, Coach Reliant coming into the mix. Obviously Bronny, that's a heavy hitter coming out from the People's Champs. Now, of course, Bronny wouldn't put him with the TPC, but he's just a great competitor, Colin. But the other names, though, what can you tell me about them?
Well, this is one of the things that I really love about this squad. They got a guy in Vino that I really think can step his game up. You probably haven't heard a lot about him. He hasn't really been on the big stages a lot, but he's one of those guys that he has to get his head down every now and again. He has to get the momentum under him to be able to get those early kills. He's a very pop-off player. He has to learn to get that consistency level up there, but right now, I'm looking at Vino to kind of step out and start becoming a star amongst his peers.
Yeah, Vino last week played fairly well, I would say. Bronny obviously performed as we do expect. Zeantre, though, was a name that, again, it was such a shame I couldn't pronounce it properly, but he was popping off. He really was. And for what it's worth, he's a solid competitor. But as I said, they did struggle last week, and I expect them to step it up this week. Driven by Fear ended up beating them 2-0. That was on Foundation 5-4, pretty close. Second map, though, was pretty quick. It was Training Grounds 5-2. Driven by Fear ended up taking them down. So this week they're looking for redemption, hopefully get that grand final spot. But of course, they have some tough competition. They're going against Double R, and Double R ended up winning last week. Now, this roster is very talented on paper as well as execution. Toxiq, Rapidz, Nero, and Maniik. You got Coach Shockwave there, which of course he does great work as well. Current first place challenger rank. It's going to be a tough test for our boys, Papa Chalky Milk.
Oh, it's definitely a tough test. All of these names we've seen before, whether it be competing in challengers, even possibly getting their shot in the majors to really pop off and show exactly how good they are. So they are kind of the cream of the crop right here, right now in these challenger tournaments every Sunday. They're setting themselves up to try to make a run at that relegation tournament. So, I mean, I know we keep calling them RR. I'm just going to keep calling them a railroad because it looks like they do not stop. They are the type of team that they're going to get hot and they're going to stay hot for as long as they can.
I mean, look, they have definitely been competing for some time as a 4-stack, right? Which gives me great encouragement that they're just going to get better and better. Come regulation time, I think they're going to be just fine. They did try to qualify through that last chance qualifier. They even, made an appearance in the final week of the Pro League qualifiers, but they they always fell a bit short, it seems. So maybe this is going to be their time through relegation to make it happen. But like I said, tonight is going to be a pretty interesting night. I want to see our pick and bands, though. I want to see the maps that we're rolling with. I want to see if Asylum is in there, and it is. So Double R managed to get Asylum through. Now, this is a great pick for them. Last week, incredibly strong Asylum showing. And not to mention District as well, but District, of course, we won't end up seeing. But Asylum's going to be a huge leg up for these Double R boys. Man, Nero, I think, went huge. He ended up going like 20-11. He only had 7 deaths in total there. Rapidz was basically his number 2 man who was picking up those eliminations that he was falling short on and also getting that chip damage in. So Papa Chalky Milk, come map number 1, when it comes down to Harbor, they're going to have to put up or shut up, because come map number 2, I don't see them taking it. Double R is going to have a huge advantage. So this is a must-win map number 1 for Papa Chalky Milk.
It definitely is a must-map win number 1, because one of the things that they have to remember going into map number 1 is they're also the underdog. I mean, nobody's going to believe in you, and I think you have to put that on your shoulders and kind of use that momentum and that energy going forward. Come out on Harbor, challenge those mid-winch fights, get top stern control, really Lancer down to that bottom mid-neutral hill in the first half, and put the pressure on RR. You've got to make them feel like Asylum might have to be a must-win map for them. You don't want them going into Asylum feeling comfortable. So Harbor, it's not only must win because you're going to probably Railroad's best map. You're going to go into map number 2, giving them a 1-map lead in their probably favorite map.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, this is the thing, right? Harbor, we didn't see it last week, Colin. I mean, so I hope this week, or at least as going into map 1, it's going to be a solid showing for both ends. I want to see a great competitive match. Watching Harbor recently, I've been seeing some crazy plays, some crazy comebacks, but also some big beatdowns as well. And I hope we don't fall into the latter of that statement, right? I don't want to see anybody lose 5-0 or 5-1. I want to see it very competitive. I will say, though, if they do get through map 1 again, Asylum, going to be a tough win for Papa Chalky Milk. Double R probably has that in the bag, or Railroad as you're calling them, and that would be very appropriate heading into Asylum. But whenever it comes to Foundation, though, again, that was a map that was played last week from Papa Chalky Milk in their series versus Driven by Fear. It went to round 9. It was highly competitive. If I do remember correctly, Papa Chalky Milk had a sizable lead, but they just could not close out that final round. I want to say they may have even been up 4-0 or something like that. It was pretty crazy, and then they just kind of let it slip. So this week, coming into Foundation, if we do hit that map 3, I think they could be okay. But again, it comes down to map number 1. Now, we watched Pro League, Colin. You were casting it. We all casted it. And we learned a lot of lessons from that, even from some of the top talented teams. What are some lessons we can apply heading into this map number 1 for these rosters, even if they're generic?
All right, look, the number one lesson for me on Harbor is stop being over aggressive. Those spawn points are so far away that, yes, you won't have the spawn shield trying to get that hill break if you're getting triple cap dominated. But if you slip up at all, that map is large enough that you can find yourself down 2-to-1 hills just as quick as you were applying the triple cap pressure. Learn your setups, learn your Lancer angles. That's my lesson for Harbor. Use the size of this map to your advantage. Use it like a big old offensive lineman with some giant bear glove mitts and just push people off of their spots, man. That's all you got to do. You can assert your dominance in much easier ways than trying to triple cap your opponent.
And of course, it also starts with this winch fight, and this can really set you up nicely or set you back. And really depends on how well you pop off. For Toxiq, though, he's going to be the forerunner for Double R. He's going to hit a shot on Flaw, but he ends up getting traded out, so he's gone. And now Flaw is going to battle against another player from Double R. Up ahead, no worries at all. Takes down Maniik. Great movement. That's 3 down. Now, at this point, though, let's say Papa Choccy Milk did have the manpower. Would you be okay with them overcommitting and going for an in for the domination?
They just won the fight at B. 3 people already at the home hill. They've set up. I like this. This is what I was talking about pregame. This says a very good and very nice tone for the rest of this map. Now they've got to stop this secondary retake because they know they don't have any utilities. So this is what you've got to learn. You've got to figure out where those flashes are going to go and where you're going to be able to set up and Lancer people out as they fly into your hills. I like the Vino push. He pulls up. He tries to get that 90-degree angle onto Toxiq. A lot of damage has come out. That's a great win. Flaw's going to go down, but that trade is going to be 2-for-1 in favor of Papa Choccy. They're going to have the 3-2 versus fight down here at B. Rapidz already a little red. He has to push up on Bronny, and I love the way Bronny plays this defensively to a T. He's going to try his best to get any damage possible in, but look at this. Now they're stuck on the wrong side of the map. They're going to continue to go down, continue to get damage. Taylor, this is really good for Papa Choccy right here.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Now we do see Double R, though. They do make a break onto B. Now Papa Choccy Milk, though, they're going to fight back, and man, it's a deadly team when they do start fighting back. Now they're going in for that domination, but you notice player 9, right? Vino, he's made a great move. He's over on the enemy home hill, and he's just going to deviate those forces right from Double R. Now you mentioned Vino, great player. Again, just the start of round number 1, 2-1, no big deal though. He's doing okay. Now I like this though. Look at the score line. I mean, it's so close. It's on a knife's edge. And Double R is looking to close out that deficit. So we can really see a push and pull fight here, Colin. It's pretty competitive.
A lot of good revives out from RR, keeps them in this round down there at that B fight. Now, the pressure from Papa Choccy's about to come out. They're trying to play up on the Maniik. He's going to have to get some up A to go through, and he does. That's a down. He does get back A'd out by Flaw, but now they've got to worry about where the rest of RR is. You can see one player, that's going to be Zeantre there, stuck between a rock and a hard place. 2 members of RR trying to get their home hill back. Vino's going to be fighting a 1v1, possibly a 1v2 at his home. Just play a little bit more defense. You can come back into this. You're going to cross that 200-point threshold just after RR. You've got to get one more defensive stand. Flash is out. Maniik is already hurt. Flaw tried to sit on the cover and get the back A on No More Amazing. There's one. He's got to get a second, but it's not going to happen.
That was a must win. This is going to hurt Papa Choccy Milk tremendously. Nero is going to go ahead and capture onto B. Hopped off a little bit, but now we got that 1v1. Player 5, Rapidz, was trying to go for the OE, keep that pressure up. But at this point in time, Double R still have the win condition. And again, Bronny needed to win that fight. Incredibly tough to do so. Nero's going to clean up 2. And that should be the end of this round. So Double R, they're going to walk away with a very narrow victory. And I can't stress that enough. So close. What, about 250 to 248 or so? So you could just see how close these rounds are. 249.
They hit, because they were both at 248, and the tick comes through for both teams. One team's going to get the 2 points. One team's going to get the 1 point. So at the very end of the day, it's a 250 to 249 round, Taylor. And literally all they had to do to win that round, and I'm surprised they didn't even try it, because one of the things you have to know as a player, and they'll learn this as they continue to go forward and get reps in. Right there at the end, when Nero rolled out a B for just a moment and didn't finish the cap off.
Yeah.
Even with somebody firing at you from winch, try to use that classic movement that a lot of people had to learn. Use that bounce. All you have to do is touch the hill. If they had reset it for 1 more second, Papa Choccy probably comes out with that first round under their belt.
And again, if Bronny wins that fight too, they would have won. And Flaw, man, again, what a start. Takes down Maniik, flies right through him. Toxiq up top, looking to make some moves on Vino, but he gets taken down by Nero, who, by the way, is playing incredibly well. Toxiq now going in for Flaw, but Flaw clutches up again. Now, this is going to be your key playmaker, and he's letting them know this was one hell of an initial for me, but it's not over just yet. No one's got their hand on Bravo. Again, you're going to have that 1v1 down low. You have Bronny, who's going to be going against Rapidz pretty consistently. In that moment, though, I'd actually put Bronny ahead of Rapidz in terms of the 1v1. Again, Rapidz is that star support player. We'll see if he can maybe clutch up a little bit. He's in a 2v1. Regardless, though, the initial is still here, and it looks like it might be over shortly as Chalky Milk will finally claim B.
Well, it's going to be a 3v4 because even though they got it down, they didn't get the chance to clean it up. Meanwhile, you saw a Railroad come down here hard. They're going to be pressing 3 members across the bottom of the map already with 1 kill, and now it down. It's going to be up to Flaw to probably over-rotate. He's going to have to OE and get a break there on A because you can see how already RR is trying to set up with this 2-to-1 hill advantage, but look at the way that they're going to have to bring people back. Flaw's going to get the hell out of Dodge. He sees 2 or 3 of them press it up, and he said, I don't need this stress in my life, man. I don't need it. All right? This wasn't what I signed up for.
And it looks like it's going to be a split 2v2, so we're going to see maybe a push on Winch, push down on Bravo as well. I'm interested in player 9. Vino is pushing up quite aggressive. He's got the Lancer out. Nero makes him pay, just slides right in, takes him down, gets the chunk. And now he's going to go ahead and push his luck even further, but Bronny's going to stop him in his tracks, or at least Rapidz and Nero will also fall as well. And again, Bronny has that playstyle where he can really change the course of the round. So when he's up, Chalky Milk, they're in pretty good hands. But at this point in time, they're down about 20 or so points, Colin, but it looks like they're going to recover. I want to see how good their defense is.
Well, they're going to try to just hold off right here. They got 1 person on Winch, 1 person Stern. Bronny's rotating back over there. He goes and picks up the Boltok. Of course, you're going to have to use that to really try to put pressure and damage on anybody coming back into that hill. So what they need is player 7, Flaw. They need him to be looking down, but this down right here by Zeantre, that's going to open things up. He's going to get that kill. Now it could be a 2v1 at the home hill. Nero's going to push in. Lancer is out. He didn't have the right weapon out. Oh my God, who's going to win this? Zeantre gets the double shot down. And now it's home-to-home stretch for Chalky. They're going to continue to get A under their belt. All they got to do is cap this up, and they can continue to apply this pressure from both from Winch and from the B hill, and not really let those last 2 players escape for anything free. Look at Bronny getting it down. He gets a second down. Oh, Lord in heaven. Good God almighty. Somebody stop him.
Yeah, I mean, that right there was the key play. And again, he's making up for the last round, Colin. We know this, right? He was in that big 1v2. He wins that. It could be a 2-0 for Chalky Milk, but he makes good in the second round, takes it over, wins that 1v2. And again, he's going to be playing that Bravo, that neutral hill in the first half consistently. So for the next 2 rounds, he's going to be an absolute nuisance. And Rapidz is the player that Double R is sending to challenge him. And again, it's a tough 1v1. If I had to put both of them against each other, I'm giving Bronny to leg up all day, every day. So he's going to be instrumental in the success, or at least the win, for Chalky Milk. And again, Flaw too. Let's not discredit him. He's playing phenomenal on the initials. That Winch fight has been all him for Chalky Milk. Now the Talons are down. We also have the Boltox as well. Just added firepower. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now heading into round 3, let's see if we trade off again.
Hey, look, let's get this party started with the double secondary pistols on the map. 3v3 again at the mid-winch. Nobody goes for those pistols except for the Boltox down at the bottom. That's going to just be a stalemate down there. And Zeantre this time, back A, hits him with a whole apartment complex. My man was a landlord and said, you about 2 months past due. It's time to get out of here.
Oh, Maniik, though, tries to answer back. He's going to be on all fours, cleaned up by Flaw. Player 9, he's going to go ahead and live rent-free over at Charlie, at least for the time being. He might be challenged by Toxiq, and I think they're very aware of their presence. Now, for Bravo, no one has made a move as of yet. Rapidz doesn't want to push Bronny. Bronny doesn't want to push Rapidz. And I think for Bronny, he's thinking, look, Chalky Milk, we had a great initial. We're going for the OE, but they backed off. So now this neutral fight needs to take place. But again, we're still at a standstill. For Double R, though, we got 3 players over at Charlie, so they might be going for the OE themselves.
What I see right here is you're going to have RR. They're going to push out toward this mid-winch fight. What they've got to do is stay out of Flaw's Lancer angle. Nero does a good job there. He stays low. He keeps his head underneath the barracks. Now you see Bronny's going to get pushed. Double Boltox out. Downs are coming through, but nobody dead just yet. I love the quick revive coming out. Now they're going to throw another flash. Both of them are down, though, so this is where the bad news bears play might come through. 3 dead on the side of Railroad. Maniik is going to hold on. He's got to wait at least 4 seconds. He's got to hold everybody off until they come off a spawn. But Bronny, my man looking like a goddamn gunslinger out here, said that bastard was high noon and got the headshot right there.
But I like this look. They're backing off, or at least for the time being, they're allowing Double R to get enough slack so then they can finish them off. And that Lancer fire is deadly. Toxiq gets angry. He tries to break through, but Vino shuts him down along with Zeantre. Team pickups are going to be in. It looks like Double R will live a little bit, but Papa Chalky Milk has accumulated a good sizable lead, at least 40 points. But that's a big win. Maniik gets the break, takes down Zeantre in that 1v1. So now Double R, they're going to have Bravo and Charlene just in the nick of time, man. Papa Chalky Milk, if they hold on to that 2-1 hill cap for a lot longer, man, Double R is going to be in a scenario where they're going to have to go through and get at least a home hill decap. They're going for a domination, but now they have a little bit more leeway. They're going to be able to catch up. So Papa Chalky Milk, they got to answer.
Well, all they've got to do now is come back through with one more retake. Bronny's going to go down. This should be a triple cap domination situation. 2v1 on the backside of the home hill. Now you've got 3 players in the area. Yeah, you've crossed the 200-point threshold first, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get triple cap dominated. Player number 4 is the linchpin. He's going to be able to Lancer them the whole way in. Flaw's going to be very hurt. Vino's going to be very hurt. You can see those 2 players backing on up. Flaw's going to try to bounce around. He's not going to be able to get anything done just yet. 2 more deaths come through without losing a single member for RR. Ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, this is a 2-1 round count, if you ask me. There's almost no way, no how they're going to be able to get through, get the decaps, and get this round back. But I opened my fat mouth just a little too early, Taylor. It looks like some bad stuff might be happening.
I don't know. Bronny's going to have to pull off some heroics. He's going to have to get on Charlie. It's not going to happen. So Double R will, in fact, make good on your word. They'll take it 2-1. And again, Maniik, winning that fight, right? Winning that fight against Zeantre for the neutral, that was massive because at that point in time, the 2-1 hill cap was still in the hands of Papa Chalky Milk. If Zeantre wins that fight, it's going to be very difficult for Double R to catch up in that time. So Maniik winning that 1v1, taking over the neutral, giving the 2-1 back, just in a nick of time for Double R was instrumental in the success for that 2-1 victory. So very well done on this part. We're seeing a lot of great 1v1s, a lot of great clutch moments. It was Bronny in the last round winning that 1v2. Of course, in the last round number 2 and round number 3, it was Maniik winning that 1v1 versus Zeantre on Bravo. So here we go. Last round of the first half. Last time we'll see this Bravo fight, unless maybe long shot or something is placed down low. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, Papa Chalky Milk on these initials, they've been lights out.
They're trying to continue to be lights out. Now, they've been so good that they forced RR to play defensively, and that's one of the things that teams sometimes get scared to play defensively. I love to see that RR is mature enough to know when they're getting outfought at the winch, and that they end up playing back. They played on that cubby corner. They got the 2 kills, but they give up 1 to Vino. Now Vino needs another kill here to try to help his team out. You see player number 3, that's going to be Maniik. He's holding that winch position, and he's put himself in a great position because it's really hard to get up there to fight against him, but he gets shot over the cover as well, straight in his face. They're going to bleed him out. Fight at B is about to break out once again. Nero is going to try his hand at it, but he has to keep his head down and possibly on a swivel because now there's 2 players of Papa Chalky Milk down there, along with the other 2 holding down the up top. This is a good initial for Papa Chalky Milk.
Yeah, it's a great initial. Again, they've been having phenomenal initials, and that gives them that lead, that early lead, right? I think where they start to really fall apart is when Double R makes that push, maybe around the 150, 180 point mark, whether they're tied or not. So that's where Papa Chalky Milk could run into trouble. Now for Double R, though, they're just going to formulate a plan. It's kind of business as usual. My only thing, they are split 2v2. So there's going to be 2 big fights that are going to take place, whether it's going to be on the top end of the map or the bottom. But for the most part, Papa Chalky Milk, they're happy with the standoff. They're gathering points, but this is a big win for Vino, right? He needs to shut down Rapidz. He falls. And you got 2 more for Double R. Looks like they're committed for going over towards Charlie, but player 2 also falls on the opposite end. That's going to open up a door for Papa Chalky Milk to get onto Alpha, and maybe even the domination here. Player 4 is the last one standing.
Player 4 is going to go down. That's going to be all 4 dead. Now you see player 5 come back out. That's going to be Rapidz. Rapidz is going to be able to get a touch. No, he doesn't. He turns back around. Well, what the hell's wrong with you. You better get in that hill. Shout out Hoffman. Coming out in Operation 6 tomorrow. Shout out to my main man, Colonel Victor Hoffman. Somebody ask him. Somebody knock on his head right now and tell him he's a banana and he ain't quite ripe yet. You know what I'm saying?
He's a banana? Man, you pull out some crazy references, but that I don't know what's in that chocolate milk, but you better take it easy on it.
Hold on. Let's see if you can hear this. I don't know. I don't know what's in the chocolate milk. I don't know if you can hear me
smell
sniff
the chocolate milk.
I gave it a good
ASMR on the Gears broadcast.
Who knows? Who knows? Feeling the tangles out here in Gears Esports,
like
baby.
A banana. Hey, but you know, those are the plays right there. Okay, those are the plays. Get your touch, go in. It was a 1v1. He can make that cut. I know he was worried about being Lancer. He maybe wanted to cover his teammates back, but you got to get a touch. Keep the round alive. And those are amateur mistakes that cannot happen when you go to relegation and you want to compete against the top players. Toxiq, big 1v2. He's going to manage to take down one. Zeantre surely is going to fall here. Yes, he will. And that's going to leave player 9 by himself. That's Vino. And Vino's going to go ahead and pick up Nero. He knows doubling back is not the play. He's going to go forward and force maybe Double R to put themselves out of positioning. Of course, he has to worry about the constant respawns of Double R. Maniik is going to be one of them. So Vino, if he can live here as long as possible and just distract Double R, he's doing his job.
But Vino, again, has impressed me tonight. I know he just went down right there, and he's going to allow for RR to come back off the spawn. But he's won a lot of clutch 1v1s to try to keep his team into this. The shot grenade comes out. Beautiful job by Flaw. They got one more to worry about on the backside, though. Rapidz almost came in for the flank. Double snubs out. Not going to be enough damage just yet. There it is. One more shot. They catch him. Zeantre cleans him up as well. Beautiful initial once again by Papa Choccy Milk. They got to pick up their home hill. They're going to have a 2v2 here at the home hill of RR and Maniik. He's going to go for the up A. He's going to get taken down. Now the double bounce comes through, but Bronny shuts them both down. My goodness. Shades of the people's champs that never showed last quarter. Coming out for Bronny, getting the double kill right here and helping solidify that triple cap domination.
And again, I wouldn't put Bronny in the same category as TPC. I always felt like he was kind of better than that team let him to be, right? Bronny has always been a solid player, and I've been very impressed, and he is really showing up tonight. And if Papa Choccy Milk is going to take this victory, it's going to come down to Bronny being instrumental in that success. More importantly, too, you know, you got to give it to the rest of the roster. I mean, Zeantre's having his moments. You've been impressed with Vino. Flaw was phenomenal off the starts, off those initials, right? Fighting on Winch. So, again, this whole roster is playing very well. They're looking like night and day compared to last week. So I got a lot of faith in them. I really do. Double R, gotta step it up, man. The scoreline's still close, but you do not want to be down 4-2.
Definitely do not want to go down 4-2 because once again, but I mean, that's one of the things RR is going to have in their scouting report. They know that Papa Choccy Milk has struggled to close out rounds and therefore maps Nero, gets double shot down there. Beautiful job by Zeantre to help solidify that E-hill. Meanwhile, down at the bottom of the map, Bronny, he's so happy. He said, I got a 1v1, and now he's got to be scared to take it because he can give up the triple cap domination. Maniik sees Zeantre out of position. They might push out on him as well. This is going to be a huge little defensive stand. Shock is down. Zeantre cannot get Lancer down here. Stuck between a rock, a hard place, possibly a mountain. I mean, God knows what else I could go into in descriptions because he's got 3 Lancers looking at him.
But, you know, again, he's wasting time. It's almost like what Vino did earlier in the previous round, right? As long as you can waste time, you can count your numbers, and then Double R makes a push, and you should be ready for it. And that's what I'm hoping Flaw is going to be ready for. Great shot on a Nero, but of course, Nero is going to answer back and take him down. Now, for Vino, though, he's going to manage to pick up one. If he can get a second here, that could be massive. Double R, they may be getting on E right now, but Vino is keeping the hope alive for Papa Choccy Milk, but he will fall. Of course, Maniik now is going to go at a double team Bronny, and Zeantre is going to be around the corner. Now you're in the danger zone. You got 3 members down. Double R now has the 2-1 hill advantage, and they're going to be applying that pressure hard. They're going in for the domination, it seems. My only worry is what you brought up in the beginning. Don't overcommit, but it seems as if they're justified in making this push, and Papa Choccy Milk, they have to run into a wall of Double R members.
What you see Double R trying to do is they come in from both sides, they get that down, they pick up the meat shield. Now you've got to worry about somebody with that constant snub damage, and you hear Guy Blaze talk about it all the time. If you can put out a lot of damage very quickly, you make your opponent's life a living hell. So now you've got the meat shield in front of you, you got 2 other shotguns roaming around, and you know that 1 or 2 snub shots could put you in a position to where you're 1 shot down from what seems to be Narnia. It's a beautiful job by R. They set it up perfectly. They execute the triple cap domination. So I'm not worried about that. All tied up at 3 here. And I need to see something from Papa Choccy Milk. They need to have an answer right here. I hate to say it. I do believe this is going to be a must-win round for Papa Choccy Milk. If they go down 4-3, I think you called the Pied Piper, because that man's going to play you a tone all the way home.
This is an interesting placement, the long shot. Of course, we see it time in and time out. Basically, every single time you cast over Harbor, you're going to see that long shot place, whether it be down low or up top. But I like this. It forces the fight. And this fight has been so neck and neck that it could really go either which way. But it looks like Papa Choccy Milk, you mentioned a must-win round. That was a beautiful start for Zeantre and FlawHimself. Zeantre, still a lot more work to be done. Up top, though, you have Bronny still fighting it out, and he is going to be successful. Vino, he's going to pick up that long shot. You couldn't ask for a better initial. Again, they've been doing so well off this start, whether it be the Stern fight, the Winch fight up top, it doesn't matter. Papa Choccy Milk has been playing lights out. You mentioned a must win. Well, this is, I mean, the best start that you could ever ask for. Double R, it's going to be tough to push up that ramp versus a long shot.
Well, one shot could put you in that 30 to 40% category. I don't want to see Vina go for too many headshots. Don't get fancy with it. Try to get body shots. Try to just put the damage out. Misses both of his initials, but, I mean, a full spread there does just about as good of a job. And then the up A with a little bit of help over the top will get that next down. Maniik is going to be all by himself. Vino's looking for the misroll. There it comes through. Body shot on him. You can see it right now. Maniik got all the way down to about 40% health. So he was in one-shot territory all day, every day. Misrolls right into Zeantre. Now the triple cap domination being threatened. 2 bounces in, no bounce out. There's the must-win round. Again, though, this is scary territory for Papa Choccy Milk because they have had troubles in their past closing out maps. Do it now. Don't give your opponent any breathing room. Go ahead and make this a 5-3 and go to Asylum.
You know, man, I'm just going to throw it out there. This is the same team I was watching last week. It's just, it's really not. Like, Double R, again, won the tournament last week. And, you know, now they're playing, Papa Choccy Milk is playing against this very roster, which I would put Double R, you know, leagues ahead of the competition last week. But now the narrative seems as if Papa Choccy Milk could very well be nipping at their heels. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And it's going to be a big round for them. The initial went so well for them in the last round. Why couldn't it go well this round? For player 7, though, he's going to be leading the charge. Maniik is also going to be down low. Now, this is a guy who's been a playmaker time in and time out, but he is weak, and Flaw knows this. He goes in for the tap. He's going to pick it up. Now, of course, Toxiq is going to be there for the pickup onto Maniik, and he's going to get the cleanup on the Flaw. Already better than the last round. They want to send it to round 9 and stay alive. They're not going to give up this map that easily. Nero, he's going to go ahead and pick up maybe one. No, falls from the back and hold up a second. Papa Choccy Milk is able to recover, and now they're going to have, what do they have? They have the long shot with Bronny. They've got the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Double R, they're in trouble.
They definitely are in trouble. Coming back and off a respawn here. 2 of them already set up. I don't believe you pressure up right here. You don't have the information or the intel you need, and you don't really have the angles. If Bronny had hit a headshot right there, you can go ahead and fly, but just a little body shot. It's going to body check at least one player there. I believe that was Rapidz that got hit. So what you'll end up seeing here is the next retake will come through. Bronny just has to hit a body shot once again. He doesn't have to go for the heads. I know a lot of people want to see the highlight reel plays, but I'd rather just see people win rounds. Bronny, he's putting his team, though, in a perfect position to do so with back-to-back headshots. Teases a third there on Toxiq, but, you know, has to put it away finally. Says, all right, I got a shotgun too, buddy. Don't worry. We out here. We out here.
Hey, Bronny is just as deadly with the long shot as he is with the Nash, man, and he's kind of made that apparent as he whips a shot as soon as I was setting that up. It's all right, though. Still dead. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Bronny. Get that down. This is looking tough. Shot onto Nero. He's going to drop him as well. This should be the end. Player 2 is kind of the last hope. Toxiq got to push through that smoke. He's going to get dropped at the 1-yard line, and there you go. Papa Choccy Milk. The must-win map has been won. Very well done. We didn't see Harbor last week. Get a chance to see it tonight, and wasn't disappointed. It was neck and neck in that first half, but second half, though, long shot is placed down, and well, Papa Choccy Milk, they didn't look back. Very well done. 22-12 for Bronny. Very, very good job.
Absolutely outstanding job by that entire team. I got to give shouts out to the guys like Vino, though, early on. Flaw and Vino really did the dirty work for that squad, that entire map. I think a lot of those rounds could have gone the other way had both those boys not popped off. So my hat's off to them. Let's just hope that they're not like my Choccy Milk and aren't empty going into maps 2 and 3. They need to show a little bit more. Hey, I told you I love my Choccy Milk, boy. You best believe I already drank this sucker. It was like round 2, and I was like, what?
Okay. You already have an energy level that's up here. Once you started drinking that chocolate milk and talking about bananas, man, I must have known that you already finished off the chocolate milk because your energy level went through the roof. But of course, chat loves it. I love it. It's just a great time, man. Well done from Papa Choccy Milk. Like you said, from everybody on that roster, they fit. They had some type of piece of the machine, if you will, right? It was Maniik clutching up in certain moments. Of course, you had Vino doing what he was doing. Love the fact that he was just pushing the spawn as hard as he could have double R, living rent free for the time being, and really just being a nuisance, right? Being annoying. And even though he would fall, right, he wouldn't make crazy flashy clutches or 1v3s or 1v2s. He didn't have to. Just wasting enough time gathering that point lead was kind of the objective, and he played that objective very well. And again, sometimes you need players like that, right? You can't always be a Bronny, right, who's making these crazy clutch plays, these highlight plays. Sometimes you need someone who is going to pick up the slack, be that nice support role, and just play the utilitarian role. And I think Vino did that very well. Zeantre and Flaw, man, off those initials, come on. They were playing so well. And again, night and day from last week to this week. But the true challenge now is coming up on Asylum. And again, this was a map that was played so well from Double R. Against a different team, but still played very well. And this is where Nero really popped off. But I don't know, man. Papa Choccy Milk, Colin, again, just in all regards, slaying, teamwork, strategizing. They kind of had it all during Harbor.
Well, here's the only thing that actually worries me about going into Asylum, not just how good RR has played Asylum in the past few weeks. The initials from RR are not going to be as forced as they are on Harbor. One of the things that they're going to be able to do is sit back a little bit more, Lancer a little bit more. This isn't necessarily the winch fight. This is a fight down at train tracks where you can throw your smokes, you can throw a flash, rotate bottom or top, make sure you get that Lancer angle. So right now, I'm taking a look at this second map. I need to see how Papa Choccy Milk is going to try to outmaneuver that, because as they could continue to clash and butt heads in those initials on winch, stern, as long as they had something to fight over, they were allowed to pressure onto RR. They were allowed to make those fights come out in their favor. I just need to see a little bit of a change in pace from Papa Choccy Milk, because if you sit back and get Lancer down in map 2 just is a 5-0 and it's a slaughter fest, it's like, boy, we know what's happening right now.
Yeah, I think my only concern, my only worry heading into Asylum, I think my only worry in general across all maps for Papa Choccy Milk is kind of their mid to late game, right? Because again, their initials are great. You mentioned fighting for an objective, the long shot. They played well. They had a moment where they were going just neck and neck, head to head, forced engagements, right? That's exactly where they felt comfortable. But, the round lengthens a little bit. You start getting down to the 150 to 150 mark, and, it's kind of getting a little bit longer. Maybe we've already played a minute and a half, 2 minutes. All of a sudden, Double R starts to come back. Papa Choccy Milk starts to fall behind, and that's because their defense, they were, struggling, if you will, to kind of throw audibles. Now, of course, that was in the first half. Second half, they cleaned it up, but again, the long shot was placed in the second half, right? So they had that objective. So we'll see how Asylum works out. This is a map, again, Double R is very well versed on. My big playmakers, though, are going to be Nero and Rapidz. Those two are going to be the shot callers, the play callers, if you will, for Double R. I expect them to do very well here. You shut them down, you win the map.
And they did a strong job of that in map number 1. I think the thing that they've got to do is still they've got to be able to push those fights. They've got to keep the pressure on to RR. You can't let them sit back and play defensively. You got to make sure that you can keep those guys winning those shotgun fights.
All right, here we are. This is going to be that tracks fight you wanted to see. I'm curious. So we got Flaw, we got Vino. So that's going to be the duo on tracks pretty much throughout the entirety of the first half. On the opposite side for Double R, you're going to have players 7 and 8. It's going to be Toxiq and Maniik, nice and clean for you. Basically, top 2 on each team are going to be going to tracks. Meanwhile, the bottom 2 on each team, they're going to be heading over for streets. That can change, but at least for the moment, it seems as if that's how this is going to work out. Now, of course, Toxiq and Maniik, it's a tough duo to go against, but Flaw and Vino, with how well they played played on Harbor, I think they could do pretty good when it comes to this Bravo fight. But again, Nero, Rapidz for Double R on that Streets fight. They were pretty much uncontested last week. So if I'm looking at Papa Chalky Milkman, Bronny, Zeantre, they're going to have their hands full. But this is going to be the first test. The Trax fight is underway. Bravo's looking to be half cap. Double R pushes in, but it looks as if Vino is going to get it down on one, but one comes through for Pavilion. Double R, they're going to send 3 members over there, and it looks as if it's going to be successful.
And I love to see that once again. This is one of those moments where you try to take a look around and try to find the weak point, and it doesn't seem like there's really any for RR on Asylum. This is the kind of answer back I wanted to see from them. You already see the pressure over to the home hill of Papa Chalky Milk, and this is what I was worried about. You saw how the initial engagements were allowed to be rotated around. People were allowed to get Lancer angles, and you could see how it's not going in favor of Papa Chalky Milk. FlawHimself gets it down, but second meat shield for Toxiq already comes through. He's going to reload that snub. He doesn't have anybody with him, but this is just pressure offense from RR right now.
Yeah, I mean, well done from them. I love that audible. Send that additional player through Pavilion, help out, make it a 3v2. Papa Chalky Milk, they responded, but a little bit too late. By the time the third member from Papa Chalky Milk got over to help on the tracks, hey man, there was already one down at that point in time, so it was technically a 3v2. You were still outnumbered. So well done from Double R, but a quick answer back from Papa Chalky Milk. They're at least going to get the decap on B. Vino is going to try and lock in that neutral, but the Lancer fire is well there. Double tracks, or double trains, excuse me, moving in. Bronny's going to be isolated. No way he's getting picked up. Vino now is going to be potentially in a 1v1 versus Nero. Nobody making the move, so Vino is going to go ahead and capture that neutral. He'll be there with Flaw, but already Double R aggressively pushing up. They don't want Papa Chalky Milk to feel comfortable by any means.
I mean, that's exactly what you got to do. You saw what happened when Papa Chalky Milk could be able to pressure up, like take those fights the way that they wanted to. Vino's going to try his best to keep getting these angles, but Maniik, Nero, they're just backing up. They're playing defensively. This is how they won a lot of their fights in the rounds that they did win on Harbor. So now you see this is the other side of the coin, already pressing out. There's only a few more seconds to go before this round is also over. You can see it. There's the 250 RR already up. I mean, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful job by them. I mean, this is just how they're going to win rounds against Papa Chalky Milk, is roll back, stand on their back foot, and hit Lancer shots and put the pressure, make Papa Chalky Milk make the moves.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually really, really well played. You know, they went in for the domination. They didn't get it. That's fine, right? They readjusted. They put their numbers down on tracks. They knew Papa Chalky Milk was going to try and retake that neutral. They shut them down as soon as they did. That double train helped out tremendously as well. Vino was able to get the neutral, but again, Nero was already there for the pickup, able to take down those members, take over the neutral, and whether it's for the overextension as well. And again, that's going to be, you know, Nero and Rapidz. They're going to consistently be pushing that entrance fight. They're going to be going through, and you better hope on the opposite end, Bronny and Zeantre, they're going to be ready for that. Heading into round number 2, though, we're going to go ahead and flip sides and see that fight. Pretty standard. Again, you're going to have Flaw, Vino. They're going to be facing off against Toxiq and Maniik down there on tracks on the top. You'll have Nero versus Nero Rapidz versus Bronny and Zeantre. We'll see who makes that first move. I do expect Nero once again to make that audible and head through Pavilion, but he's got to get through Zeantre first.
One of the things I want to see Flaw, he's going to have to hit one of those kind of headshots that you saw Bronny hit last game. You're going to have to get that 2-shot, that 2-hit Aquita, blow up somebody's skull. But right now, they don't have the, I don't even want to say moxie. They don't have the practice by taking these fights. There's a flash, the second one comes out, and you see what they're trying to do. They're trying to force the CQC fight. They're not trying to let Rated R sit back and get the angles and try to pressure them out. There's one down. They get the kill. Now it's 4v3 on the map. There's a second, and they do exactly that. They pressure one person to that middle B hill. They get the down, the out, the kill. Now it's 2-1 in favor of Papa Chalky Milk.
And to be fair, Papa Chalky Milk was doing a great job with that on Harbor. They did it on Bravo. They were doing it on the home hill as well. Like you mentioned, they want Double R to kind of push in. They want to kind of angle them out, if you will, at a certain point. Get that close quarter fight. So, gotta say, man, even though Papa Chalky Milk may not be comfortable with those long-range engagements, they're doing a great job at baiting Double R to get a little bit closer, where, of course, Papa Chalky Milk feels a little bit more comfortable. Nero, big fight against Bronny. It's going to be a must-win, but Zeantre is there to angle him out. So Nero's going to go ahead and go in. Bronny's going to pick him up. The trade is there. Nero's back in, and Double R will stay alive. So great teamwork there from Nero and co. Zeantre, he's just going to be down low. At this point in time, PapaChockey got a decent lead. Double R, they're going to have to fight tooth and nail to come back.
Already got 2 players down there to be Hill pressuring across the bottom of the map. Now here comes Nero. They've got 3v1 on Flaw. That's going to be an easy, quick kill for them. 2-to-1 Hill advantage is going to be going in favor of RR. But right here, Zeantre, he's going to get called out underneath. They got to know where he is. It looks like he's going to go for the overextension, try to get the decap on A. Bronny, he's going to have to try to wait for the help off of Respawn, but he's going to get rotated upon very quickly. Nero comes in from behind. It's the easy one-shot kill on his back. Now Vino, even though with the down, doesn't be able to clean it up. Home-to-home stretch, so does RR go. Now they have to rotate back over and try to get Zeantre out of their own home to try to go for this triple cap domination.
They got to do those, get that decap. PapaChockey Milk still with the win condition. They barely held on by getting on Alpha, but of course, now the fight is going to be on Charlie. Alpha's being gathered over there by Nero in a big fight. PapaChockey Milk is going to get the break on C, but I believe there was enough time wasted for Double R to keep that win condition, and that is going to be the case. So 25 seconds, they flip the script, they will take the victory. So PapaChockey Milk, they got to break through, but Nero, being that nuisance, taking down Vino, if he takes down Zeantre, it's lights out, it is over with. But hey, Nero gets it. Like I said, it's over. Good job from Double R, man. Knew exactly where they needed to reallocate numbers. They did it fairly well. Even though they didn't have the win condition, they were able to take over A, get that decap just in the nick of time to flip the script, flip that win condition over for Double R. They just played it well. That is a huge loss for PapaChockey Milk, Colin. They should have won that.
They definitely should have won that and been able to tie this thing up at 1-1, but right now it's just a matter of just how good RR is on Asylum. I tried to talk about it in the first round. There's not much more you can say about that squad. Every time they play Asylum, they know exactly where they have to put people, where they have to rotate them around the map. They continue to put themselves in better positions. You keep seeing them take 2v1s, and that's one of the things we tried our best to explain going into 4v4 is kind of what you have to learn to do. You have to find where the weakness is in the opposing team, take that advantage and continue to press it. And right now, PapaChockey Milk has done, or PapaChockey Milk has not done that map number 2. RR has done that to perfection.
All right, here we go, man. Round number 3. Double R feeling very comfortable, but that is not the start you want. Player 8 has already been Lancered down, so this is going to be a pretty solid start, it seems, for PapaChockey Milk. Probably the strongest start we've seen as of yet. Typically, we see that big standoff on tracks, but not going to be the case here. Very curious as to why Maniik was out-angled. But maybe that's PapaChockey Milk just kind of readjusting themselves and, you know, picking different fights, if you will. But hey, at this point in time, Double R, they're full force. It looks as if we're going to have that 2v2 maybe down onto Bravo. The big fight, though, is going to be, or excuse me, Zeantre could be that linchpin and maybe rotate back. But I think he's going to be out-angled, and he will. Player 9, Nero, is able to sideswipe him, take him down. Oh, man, now it's looking bad for PapaChockey Milk, Colin.
They're getting taken out one after the next. It's staggering off their lives. It's going to be staggering off of their respawns. That's going to be the triple cap domination being threatened. I don't believe they're even going to make it there. Zeantre hits the corner, but all he has to do is watch that round end before you can even have a chance to get in there. And I'm deathly afraid for how good they played in map number 1. This is, it's almost like somebody is like they just dropped their controllers. I don't know. No. I know they didn't do that because they're playing. This is a completely different squad from what I saw in the first round.
Look at what you said, right? You said what made them strong. Close quarter fights, placing down something to fight for. But we don't see that this round. We don't see it come out despite them being down 3-0. They have not been able to be successful whatsoever. And last round was the quickest round despite a phenomenal initial from PapaChockey Milk. Nero, by the way, absolutely the reason why that round goes to the hand of Double R. Blindsided Zeantre like that. Got to keep your head on a swivel, man. And man, for Nero, he's a sneaky beaver. He's constantly getting behind enemy lines. That's what made him strong in Asylum last week when they were playing against Driven by Fear. And that's what made him, or at least it seems as if he's able to pick up where he left off. Double R, man. If they go up 4-0, this is the danger zone for PapaChockey Milk.
They do get the 4 versus 3 initial right now. They have to pressure up. This is where you got to make sure you don't give up that lead by giving away that extra respawn coming out. There's a couple of shots out. Bronny, they're going to back off. They've got the mid-neutral hill. There's a flash. Now Bronny's going to rotate back down. They have to figure out where RR is going to rotate though. Where they've already thrown their flashes and where they haven't. And it looks like, you know, RR is going to rotate at least one flash down here. They've got to rotate somebody to try to help get the stun off because the Retro is going to be trying to guard the B hill. The longer you can hold this, the harder you're going to make it on him.
Oof, that Ensign. He takes down Flaw there. It's going to be a huge advantage, but it doesn't happen. Double R, though, still getting the break on B. Zeantre wants to get this kill. He's going to manage to take down one. Doesn't get the finish. The pickup is there. The trade, though, does come through. Still, though, Toxiq, meat shield in hand, is going to get the full cap on B, but Flaw's going to be able to answer right back. He had that Retro, and he put it to great use. Well done, kind of creating that space and getting that chip damage in. Choccy Milk are going to play around with player 4, Bronny. He looks like he wanted to capture A, but he's going to go ahead and back off. But he's already headfirst into not only Rapidz, but also players from behind him. But Zeantre's there for the cleanup on the one. Can he get the second? Oh, he shoots the wall. So unfortunate.
Even if he hadn't shot the wall, that's only a one shot. He's not going to get the down or the chunk from that range. One of those things that you're going to have to make sure you understand is right there, he's going for that revive, and as soon as he gets the kill, roll back. You're closer to your spawn than you are theirs. They have to come down that stairwell at you. You have the chance to get help in that fight, and instead he stays in it. He gets 2v1'd. He gets taken down. Bronny trades out right there with Toxiq. Oh my God, but Maniik says, nah, how about you stay out the B hill for a hot minute, buddy? Let me just light up the old char grill.
Well, Zeantre's still going to be there, so although managed to pick up a nice kill, might not amount to much. Vino hits one shot, not going to get that final. Hey, Choccy Milk looking to maybe take their first round here, but there is a possibility Double R can still get these breaks, and player 2, he's going to have to go bigger. 2v1, he's going to have some help, though, from Bronny from the side, and it looks as if they're going to be okay holding in Charlie, but Double R, up until the very end there, still had a chance. I wouldn't say this was a successful first half for Choccy Milk, but they're not down 4-0. That is the positive to take away here. But more importantly now, you mentioned close quarter fights where they're going to have pretty much all they can have on that streets fight.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get the fight that they probably want up here at the entrance side. I'm not sure what they're going to do, if they're going to place a weapon up there, or if they're going to go ahead and upgrade toward a different utility coming out of their respawn. It looks like Vino's actually going to place something at entrance, maybe a snipe, maybe a boomer, a drive. There's the snipe. I like this. They want that to be a fight that has to be done very quickly. They're going to try to force the hand of RR, and RR's, they're going to have an incendiary, which is very dangerous. It's that one hit a quitter. It can also lock off a part of the map. But I think right now, if you can get, I believe it's Zeantre, if you can get Zeantre to pick that Retro and get up to that fight, that might just be as more dangerous, because once the incendiary goes away, if it doesn't get the insta-give, I mean, that's just a powerhouse weapon to bring into that fight.
And Zeantre actually goes to Pavilion. He wants to try and lance her out from tracks. Not a bad angle to be at, but of course he wanted to get there and have more of an effect on the long shot. For Maniik, he gets out pretty much unscathed. By the way, look at those assists. 12 assists, not bad at all for him. So we'll see if he can maybe get a little bit more kills with that long shot and insta kill potential if he hits the head. But even though the long shot's out, nobody was able to get their hands on the E. Now, was the Ensign used? No, it wasn't. So Rapidz is still going to have that as well. So Double R, they've got a lot of utility. They've got the power weapon to take over this neutral. Let's see if they can make good on it.
Here comes Maniik. He's going to push back up. He's going to possibly go for a body shot or maybe even a heady. He hits a body shot there on Vino's, trying to find the angle. Long range incendiary. He's not going to find anybody. A couple of Boltox shots come out. They keep them out of the hill. We still have a completely uncapped mid-neutral. This round is going to extend for a hot minute. I believe you might even see where it goes until the secondary respawn of that incendiary grenade, because they're keeping RR off of that hill. Maniik can't find anybody's head to pop. They're going to have to double push across, I believe. They're going to have to be able to get pressure on Maniik without him getting a free headshot on anybody.
Ooh, Rapidz just finds that extra pixel to be able to lock in E. Now the question is, can he get out? Does he even want to get out? He possibly could actually stay there. As long as Maniik can connect a body shot, Rapidz can then turn the corner and get a chunk here. So it's not necessarily a terrible position, but once that utility's thrown, Rapidz is most likely going to be isolated here. Manik's not going to be able to help him. Again, you mentioned that Ensign, and nobody's been able to get it just yet. There's that utility. There's that body shot. Let's see if Rapidz can hold his own.
That's exactly what they needed. They get the body shot. Rapidz was able to get the back A onto him, get the down, get the kill. I think you have to press 2 people in that position. You can't, even with the splash, you have to push multiple bodies into the area. Try to get damage on him inside of that entrance fight. They end up not doing that. It ends up getting them killed and backed them down. So I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much chalk this up. Rapidz picks up a different sniper rifle. So 2 shots being able to ring out, 6 more shots out of a sniper left for RR. And there's no really where for anybody on Choccy to go to make anything crazy happen. There's another stun, but I mean, I think everybody hit a body shot with their snipers. So
hold up.
They're gonna push across. Couple of decaps. What is oh, never mind. Seven's got it. Seven's got their hill. Seven's got their home.
Yeah, 7 went big there, man, and it was looking a bit worrisome. I mean, if Choccy could have walked away with that one, I would have been very impressed. In a way, kind of confused, but yeah, it was that was honestly one of the most anticlimactic rounds I've seen. Like, that was pretty slow. Like, we didn't even really get to watch many fights there because it was so slow. Choccy, I mean, honestly, what could they have even done in that situation? I mean, obviously utilize utility. I think they just had to commit on E. Like, bottom line, period. They just needed to bum rush it.
I mean, I was about to ask, were you listening to me? They needed to push multiple people. Once they threw that flash and they only pushed, I can't even remember. It was Vino. Vino pushed up. He got body shotted. Then he got 1 hit acquitted down by the back A. You throw 2 bodies, you had 3 people in the area, throw at least 2 bodies at him, make him hit a shot, and then make the guy an entrance think about who got hit so he knows who he has to shoot at. Meanwhile, you just give up all the positioning in all of that area. They're going to trade out 1 kill, 2v2 still at the top. Now it's a 2v1 due to the incendiary grenade. Zeantre, he's going to have to give up, I believe, the sniper rifle once again, and they might be able to get out scot-free away with that sniper. The body shot misses by Nero. Nero's going to roll back, looking for anybody's head to pop. This time, throw the flash, get loose, get out there. Maybe even change it up. Maybe somebody changed it up to a smoke, and they're going to make it, you know, a little close. There's buddy. Hey!
Okay, all right. Now, can Nero connect through the smoke? Now, I'd be really impressed if they get a mark. He's going to hold it. He's going to wait for that smoke to go. Oh, Flaw dancing around a little bit. Kind of, I don't know, messing with his own destiny. But at this point in time, Double R is going to push up. Nero pulls out the Nasher. He's going to pick up 1. Bronny in the corner, kind of isolated. Utility's out. He should be dead, and he is. And Flaw is going to be forced to back up as far as he can go. Now Nero, he's pretty much got free reign with that angle to take anybody out. Vino's going to try and get a break down low, trying to take down Rapidz, but nice shot. Vino will fall. So at this point in time, I think Double R is off to the races. This should be the last round.
Double R is going to pressure up. They're going to try to make this as hard on Choccy. They want to go ahead and get to map number 3. They said, look, map number 1 might have gone your way. You come to our house. We are the craziest people in the Asylum because we're running that bad. We are the inmates, and we trying to take control because they are up 4-1. They've got the 2-1 hill advantage. They're up by 60 points, and you see Choccy, they're going to try to fly.
Sure.
And, they're gonna try. I mean, that's all you can do at this point. You gotta make this engagement happen. It's what won you map number 1, and what started losing you map number 2.
Oh, big fight, Bronny. You got to win this, man. Come on. No, you're not. Toxiq's going to get the cleanup on 2. Bronny wins that. That could have been pretty beneficial, but Choccy, they gave that one hell of a go, and that's what we needed to see in the last round. Let's be real. But hey, looks like Double R is going to hold on, and I think I might call it. I don't think Choccy is going to be able to fight back at this point in time. Where's that long shot? Nobody's got it as of yet, so I believe the fresh one is going to be just behind Nero, or he doesn't even need it. Doesn't even matter. That's going to be the end of the round. Double R, very good performance. Take it 5-1. And it makes sense. They did the same thing last week, Colin. Looks like they're going to replicate the success here.
Looking to throw it back, do a little throwback Monday instead of a Thursday. They're going to try to make sure they take it to a map 3 and find themselves right back in the driver's seat to win back-to-back tournaments. You can see them here with a 5-1 victory. Nero giving a little peekaboo after the fact. A beautiful map 2 by all players on RR. The way that they controlled it was just picture perfect.
All right. Well, hey, check it out. That's map number 2. Means we're going into map number 3, Foundation. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. to the Gears Challenger Series Split 2 Phase 1 Week 2, and we're now heading into a game, or it should be a map number 3, going into Foundation. Let's talk a little bit about Asylum, Colin. Just a bit too passive, man, you know, from the side of Papa Choccy Milk. Much like night and day, right? Harbor, aggressive, close quarter fights, had an objective, whether it was, you know, not necessarily neutral, but that long shot, right? That was just hugely instrumental in winning on that second half. They won 2 straight rounds to close it out 5-3. But a much different story here. Very passive from Papa Choccy Milk, but more importantly, the fights were different.
I mean, you also see exactly what they did with their map selection and the pick and bans. They saw it came down to Foundation or District, and they said, oh, we can play back-to-back maps where it's slowed down, Lancer heavy, and we can get out-angled. Nah, we'll take our chances in a map like Foundation where you know, there's a lot more fights at the home hill. You can get down to that cave, throw smokes, and get loose. I think it might serve them a little bit better, but you're exactly right. With the way you broke that down, Harbor, a lot more CQC, a lot more in the favor of the things that Papa Choccy Milk want and like to do on a map. They got to get those fights going again. They got to find the momentum once again because, I mean, they look like an absolutely different team in map number 2.
Yeah, not necessarily scared, but if you are a spectator watching, you don't necessarily know how Gears plays. Like, you could almost say Papa Choccy Milk was playing scared. Remember that round number 4? Round number 5, I think it was. It was just so long and drawn out. Like you said, get loose. Papa Choccy Milk, just push forward, throw that utility. I understand you're going against a long shot. It's going to be tough. Rapidz is also in the cut looking to chunk you, especially if that long shot hits. You're in trouble, but they can't take all 4 of you down, or at least hopefully they can, right? Push through them and try and take the fight to them. Get rid of that long shot. Put yourself in a good position. We didn't see that. But Foundation, hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a competitive map, much like Harbor. Again, Driven by Fear played against Papa Choccy Milk last week. Of course, Driven by Fear ended up winning 2-0. They ended up losing to R in Grand Finals. But during that matchup versus Papa Choccy Milk, it went to round 9. Okay, and if I remember correctly, Papa Choccy Milk had a decent lead before they ended up blowing it. So hopefully this week it won't be the same thing. But getting a victory over the previous champions of R, it'd be massive, Colin.
Well, one of the things I need to see out of them, and I think will actually really help them, is early on in this map, try to throw down a long shot at the E hill. Because one of the things that we see a lot inside a cave is it slows up. You see people really play that fight and elongate that B hill fight. Put something that you have to fight for over at the E hill. Make that back statue fight a little CQC. Let Flaw play it almost like the winch fight. Put Flaw and Bronny out there, Flaw and Zeantre, whoever you wish. Pick your poison. Let Vino play up top on that mid-street fight. Lancer out, try to get the angles, try to play 1v1 up there. Because those boys can clutch those fights if they're put in the correct position. But I think you got to go to that well sooner, much rather than later. Even if you give up an early utility or maybe early retro to the side of RR, you might come out on top in the long run by having that strategy work in your favor more often than not. You might lose rounds 1 and 2, but now you might win rounds 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm totally picking up what you're throwing down. I want to see something Fire and Ice did very well during Pro League, man. They played against Rise, close series, obviously. Not a close map one. I think it was Harbor. Fire and Ice just struggles in Harbor for whatever reason it is. I think they lost 5-1, came back to win the series. But Foundation was one of those maps. Typically, you see that Lancer fight, right? That kind of standoff, if you will, for mid until somebody finally commits and goes down low over to Bravo in the first half. Fire and Ice, though, was doing something a bit different, something I don't see actually really at all, other than for F&I. They were pushing straight through mid, Colin. They were just going straight into Rise. Rise picked up on it one round, but F&I continued to do it, and they continued to make it work. Is that something that could be viable, you think? Or maybe just Rise didn't play well at all, and Fire and Ice was able to take advantage? Again, applying that now to these two teams, you think that could benefit Papa Choccy Milk?
I think what you have to do is actually take advantage of the fact that you can have those initial utilities out of everybody's respawn. Maybe switch up a smoke into somebody's respawn instead of flashes. You get in a position like you're going to pressure across the map, and then throw a smoke on one of those ledges or right in the middle of those ledges, let it plume out, then use the cover to try to get down to that mid-box fight and pressure up. Once again, this is going to be another fight where I need to see Papa Choccy Milk be able to pressure RR, because right now RR, they're set up again to just hold down the side of Papa Choccy Milk. Papa Choccy Milk has no real estate on the map. They can't pressure up against the 50-yard line without getting lancered. This to me is a bad sign for them, even though it's only map number 1. I mean, round number 1.
Because now you have, what, worst case scenario for Papa Chalky Milk, you have a 3v2 now, home hill to home hill. Player 9 can rotate back, though. He'll be there to help. But again, for player 9, he's kind of by himself. What is he going to be able to do from that positioning? If he tries to go mid, player 4 is going to call it out. 5's going to have an angle on him. He's going to go ahead and rotate back. It looks like Double R might be attempting to go for the overextension. So Papa Chalky Milk, they're going to prioritize having that 2v1 against player 5. They're going to take over the neutral. But the fight is here, and Double R is putting up one hell of a fight. Rapidz is going to take down Vino. Toxiq is there to pick him up. And now you got Double R all up in Papa Chalky Milk's spawn. This is not what you need off the start. And now it weighs heavily, and I mean heavily, on Zeantre and Flaw, who is now about to get pinched. Double R's in a great position.
Double R is going to do their best here to go ahead and solidify basically the rest of the real estate on this map down here at the B Hill. You're going to see them pressure up. A lot of downs come out. Vino trying to get Lancer Fire over the top, trying to put anybody back on their knees, but not going to be able to get anybody down. Triple cap domination being threatened. Bronny has made it to the home hill, which will elongate the round for now. But I mean, this is going to start to get out of hand very quick, because you can see they fly through the fountains. They're going to get the Lancer angles from the 90 degree. 3 people have already stacked up there. Turn off the lights. Say goodnight. Round number 1 is going to be going to RR.
And Papa Chalky Milk was not expecting Double R to push through as hard as they did for the overextension. Maybe they did for the overextension, but by the time Bronny came out of spawn and saw a wall of Double R members pushing him, it probably confused them. They're like, what's even going on? Why are they all the way over here? And for Zeantre and his teammate, isolated down in Pistons, you had one pushing from Welding, you had another one coming from mid, you had a couple coming from Fountains. You're not getting out of that. You're really not. It's just too much pressure. So well done from Double R to utilize, just their manpower accordingly. And again, like you said, from Papa Chalky Milk, Colin, they played that way too passively. They were spread across the map without any real intention on pushing up. Let's see if they change that up in round 2.
Rushed out now. They slow up once again. They're not pressuring out toward the top table side of the map to try to put a Lancer angle down in the bottom. You're going to see here comes the smoke from Vino down to the middle. The push from Flaw. He's going to get Lancered out from the top because you gave up the early real estate, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Flaw is already down. I know for everybody else, it probably seems like such an obvious thing. But when you say it a million times, you can still see teams giving up that real estate, not challenging up. It just comes out as a really hard thing to watch, because you know what they have to do, and it's like you can't be in their comms and tell them to do it any harder.
Ronnie's going to get a touch, keep Papa Chalky Milk in it. Rapidz wins that fight, but now he's going to be out. Well, I say outnumbered. Rapidz actually is going to join him. Maniik is also going to be there for the cleanup. Nero's going to help as well. So now Papa Chalky Milk in the danger zone. Zeantre will get that touch. He's chunked, and now it's over with. Double R is going to take the victory again. And I want you to break it down even more. You said it was obvious. You're talking about this real estate. Specifically, what points on the map are Double R locking in that Papa Chalky Milk is letting fall through their fingertips?
So early off of the rip, what they're doing is sending somebody over to statue down to the bottom of those baby steps, because you now have a clear sight line from the statue area down into those pillars into the cave. If you don't pressure somebody into cave to help your teammate so they don't get shot in the back, all you're seeing RR do is rotate somebody to the T-table right under the word Pistons. You rotate somebody to statue. Now, if you go into the middle area, you are getting shot. You're getting pincer movement out. I mean, it's like the claws on a crab. That's why we call it a pincer. It's both sides, and you're trapped in the middle like a rat. All you can do is just get shot on, taken down, and put out to pasture like a rabid dog, baby. It's just bad news bears. Papa Chalky Milk has to start putting pressure on the map. They have to start getting onto the, I would call it the 50-yard line or further. You've got to beat them in the middle.
And now Double R knows.
There he goes.
They feel too comfortable. They really do. They haven't been pressured. They haven't been challenged by Papa Chalky Milk at this point. Why should they slow down? Now, this could be good for Papa Chalky Milk. They're finally going to push them back. Maybe Double R bit off a little bit more than they can chew. Toxiq, tough spot. He's going to be out-angled. He is now down. But even so, they're only going to take over their home hill. Battle for Bravo is still underway. Nero will fall. So Papa Chalky Milk, okay, this is a good start. They managed to make it happen. Double R, very aggressive on streets. Papa Chalky Milk readjust, and they take advantage of those numbers. But even so, they don't get the neutral. So now they still have to take out these two members from Double R.
They have to do it pretty swiftly, because once again, RR has just been better at getting the angles and finding the points on the map to be able to shoot on and take people down wherever they try to hide out at. Maniik is going to be waiting down here in the cave area. If Flaw decides to push in toward that B hill, he's going to get taken out swiftly. So they just have to be careful with this next fight. I don't really see where Papa Choccy Milk goes unless they try to pressure somebody else. They're taking a 2v1 here in the middle of the map. There's the cleanup. I don't know if you even needed that. Nobody was really in the area except for the next player you were going to fight, and it's not like he can hurt you trying to come over there to revive if he's got to go through both of you. But you see they get the double kills. They're pressuring up now. That's what they needed to do. Good rotation. I like the setup. There's a chance. Oh, Maniik rolls through.
Maniik barely got that too. That was kind of one of those where it's like you're clinching, right? Double R is thinking, oh, we just got to get a touch, or are we too far away? Well, Maniik keeps it alive, but more importantly now, Double R has the home hill to home hill. One of the things that I was worried about going back just before that domination attempt, Papa Choccy Milk, they were spread pretty thin, okay? And I'm like, okay, you're looking good, you're going in for the domination, but now Double R, they've got numbers on you. And at this point in time, that is not what you need. I say that though, Papa Choccy Milk doing a great job fighting these fights. Maniik though is going to get the cleanup on Vino. Zeantre also falls. The mid battle was here. Bronny's going to clean up Nero, but he's full red. He's going to drop, and there he goes. And now you got Double R on all 3 hills. Player 8's going to be isolated. He's pretty far away from getting onto that home hill, but he will have Zeantre there, but I think he's just a bit too far. He will be. He's not going to get that touch. Unfortunate. And again, Papa Choccy Milk, great position that they put themselves in. I think they overcommitted a bit too much for the domination. They spread themselves too thin. Double R had the numbers, and they took them out 1v1, 2v1. It just wasn't a good situation.
The scary thing is I think that was Papa Choccy Milk's best punch in this fight on Foundation.
100%.
I mean, they get the double kill, everything. They get to crane, they get everything that they need to do to pressure RR into a bad spot and be able to get that triple cap domination. And next thing you know, they're like, all right, well, let's just keep pushing forward and trying to get kill after kill. And now they've lost 1, they've lost 2, and it's like, this was your best shot to play kind of the way you did on Harbor, because even once you got the engagements to go your way, you pressured up, you then sat back. It's not like you sat back and then pressured up. This was one of those rounds that you had to come away with. Papa Choccy Milk, they're down 3-0, and I'm not going to be surprised if this doesn't just get uglier, because you can see already, based on that last round, you said that you don't want to say that they look scared, but this is skittish right here, the way that they're not like, and here comes the flashes. Beautiful. Maniik, that flash right there, that's a nerdy flash, baby. That landed right on Rapidz, but if Rapidz hadn't been there and that person was still holding that right hand right there, that's a perfect flash and a perfect stun. Bronny tries to push up through the middle, goes to the up A. He gets 3v1'd and taken down. Now you see the only person dying on the side of RR was right there in the middle of the map. Papa Choccy Milk has to find another kill. FlawHimself with 1 shot. Goes to the second. Not going to be able to land it. He's going to get a second couple of pellets, but gets up-A'd by Toxiq. Now Vino, he trades out, but the Lancer fires there from the middle. They get 1 down. They're going to pressure back against them from the inside of the cave. Nero with a retro, shutting him down. And ladies and gentlemen, one way or the other, as good as the punches were, it looks like RR ain't pulling any of their own. They go up 4-0.
Tough, man. I mean, it's tough. There's no other way to put it. Flaw had that drop shot. He tried to get away. He really did, but unfortunately, Lancer Fire was just keeping him pinned up behind that cover, behind that pillar. He couldn't get away. You can't blame him. Bull Talk on the opposite end. Of course, Hammer Burst on the other end, and that's going to be obviously useful for Double R, who's put themselves at the cusp of victory. Love the fact that Nero, he's aggressive, right? He's one of the most dominant slayers on this Double R roster, but you know, he's not scared to rock that retro either. And we've kind of seen that time in and time out where your dominant slayer, your guy who loves to get up close and personal, carries that retro to get the chip damage himself. He's not depending on anybody else. Typically it'd be Rapidz, but he doesn't care. He's going to get the damage himself and get the cleanup. So I love the fact that he's kind of playing a dual role himself. But at this point in time, that statue fight is underway. We know the drop shot is down low, and man, I'm getting Harbor flashbacks. That was just a great initial from Vino and Flaw. But let's see if they can capitalize even more. Drop shots in Bronny's hand. This again is the or I would say the second time we've seen Papa Choccy Milk win an initial.
And this, one of the things that a lot of people are going to be curious about, like, oh, there was a drop shot on the map. Why didn't they go for it off rip? Well, you can see it. There's only 1 rocket in it right now, and that's the way that it's been updated and changed on this game mode, on Escalation. So it's not as big, it's not as powerful or as purposeful as it used to be. So you can see it becoming almost a secondary weapon, but it's still, they had to go over and pick it up. I just want to see what they can do with it. Bronny, I believe, still has that rocket to use with. We switch over here to Toxiq, who's going to be facing out the wide angle fight of Papa Choccy Milk, who is in complete control here in this round, and a little surprising.
And I'm really happy Bronny trusted his two teammates there to take that 2v1, because at one point it looked as if he was going to use that drop shot. I felt it would have been wasted. Good on him for trusting in his teammates, keeping that drop shot. He still has one more to his name, so that's going to be hugely beneficial in stopping a push from Double R potentially in the future. Nero will fall down low. Choccy Milk, night and day, looking like a solid team now. They're pushing fights where they need to. Zeantre, he's got that retro. It's going to be hugely beneficial for down low. Toxiq, he's going to try and push his way through, and he's going to get there, but Zeantre's just going to back up, creates that distance, and really utilize the retro as best as he can. So with Toxiq now going for the OE, is he going to be spotted out? He will. There's Zeantre. He's got the retro, and he's going to have to push up. Let's see if he can make this happen. Drop shots there. Toxiq avoids it. This could be dangerous, but Toxiq finally falls. Good teamwork.
It was a great little extra angle from Zeantre. Even after the drop shot misses, he was able to get the 90-degree, get the Lancer fire down and out. Rapidz now has to continue to play defense. He's going to roll back. He's going to bounce around. This is too little too late. And I don't want to say that I saw it coming or that I told you so, but why is it that when they get the close quarter combat fight at the statue, it goes exactly how I said it would go prior to the match starting? It just makes me want to scratch my head, and it really hurts right now. Okay, Taylor, it hurts.
Again, ASMR coming through, man. I'm getting the full works tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So are you from Colin. Yeah, like you said, that statue fight, beneficial. Maybe Vino's picking up on this. He's picking up what you're throwing down. He's like, hey, you know, that went so well. Let's do it again, but now let's make it a little bit more serious. Let's play for those frags, right? So now you got the frags to fight for. You got the drop shot. And yeah, you're battling against the ensign, which that's going to hurt. And that could actually be a pretty detrimental thing now that Choccy Milk's going to have to battle against, because you don't want your players get instantly killed. You know, I'm looking at Bronny, I'm looking at Flaw. You know, I'm looking at Vino, but if they can avoid that, hey, they could have another great initial here. But Flaw's getting Lancered out, so he's forced to back up. That was a great angle that Toxiq was able to have.
Well, they probably didn't throw any of their utility, so even though Flaw got angled out early, they see the refire come out, they get the down. Now the shots over the cover. Rapidz is going for the wrap. He doesn't get it either, and he's going to go down as well. That's too quick dead. They're going to have the drop, the frags. They have the positioning once again. I'm so scared, bro. I'm like so... I don't even know how to put this. Like, Choccy Milk put themselves in such a good position here in round number 6 that I'm almost scared to say that they're looking good again. But this is nice. This feels nice for them.
Hey, man, I mean, they got it all. You know, they got the frags with Flaw. They've got the drop shot with Bronny. I don't think it's been used. You know, at this point, it's about, you know, just kind of orchestrating your troops, right? And not allowing Double R to get that man advantage, you know, whether it be a 3v3, 3v2. That's tough. You know, player 4 on streets, he's gonna hurt. He's definitely gonna hurt. Let's see what Maniik can do. Flaw's gonna go ahead and challenge him. Maniik is going for the OE. I mean, he knows this fight on statue's lost. He knows, like, look, I'm gonna have a lot more value if I get on D. That's exactly where he's heading to. Flaw's going to be chasing him down. Choccy Milk, though, does go for the OE themselves. Zeantre's about to be in a 1v2. Player 5 is going to fall. Nero was able to get that down, but it looks like Double R is going to recover their home hill. Maniik, though, put up a great fight. Huge 1v2. Finish on 1. Vino, he's going to drop again. Maniik, down after down after down. We'll handle Vino. We'll handle Flaw. Double R now has the 2-to-1 hill advantage. They're not comfortable yet, but they're a lot better off than they just were because of Maniik.
I mean, sometimes you ain't got to be comfortable. Sometimes you just got to be in the right spot at the right time. Here comes Choccy Milk off of respawn, bouncing around their home hill. Maniik is going to get shots on, 2 shots and a down. They get the revive chain off. Maniik by himself makes this a much harder fight for Choccy Milk to win. You see Rapidz way off in the distance, lancering in. Say goodnight. RR, bring it back. And I said I was scared after that initial. And, you know, are you afraid of the dark? Because I might be right now.
I mean, look, I gotta say it. Double R played very well. You said Railroad. I'm starting to pick up on that, and I think that might be true. Still, though, I want to highlight Choccy Milk much better today than last week. I say that, but still a lot of criticisms coming up from Colin and myself. They've got to go back to the drawing board and really figure it out. Harbor, phenomenal map for them, but again, because it you know, highlights that close quarter fight. But you get into those maps that are spread apart. It could be District, right? It could be Training Grounds. It could be Foundation, which we witnessed. It could be Asylum. These are maps that are played, the bread and butter for most teams out there. And you know, you're not going to find many pro luck, because after all, look, these guys are fighting for a chance to play in relegation, to of course secure a pro league spot themselves. So you're going to be going against teams that are very talented on those those maps that have been consistently played throughout Gears 5. So this is a worry spot for Papa Chalky Milk. Seeing a lot of great plays, but again, like Blaze said, there's levels to this. And right now, I feel like Papa Chalky Milk is probably not on necessarily the lower level, but they're not on the level of a Pro League team just yet.
Well, I think and they can get there, but they have to start to either manipulate the map pool in their favor, or they have to start learning their weapon picks in their favor. Because, again, the ways that they were winning rounds, the ways that they were able to pressure RR is with CQC, is with getting into their face, getting into the action. So maybe practice up a little bit on maps like Baskar, be able to rotate around the map. Offer the help to your teammates whenever you can get a shotgun into the fight. These are the things that you go when you see a team stick together and really play it out. They can learn a lot in a very short span of time. All you have to do is make sure you stay humble, stay hungry, and stay ready to learn. You see a map like this, go back and watch the footage. Where did we fall apart? What happened and came back to bite us in the butt? For RR, though, I mean, put some more coal on the fire and tell the conductor to toot the horn as he comes into the station. I'm calling them Railroad. It's what they're going to be for probably the rest of their lifespan as long as they're RR to me. I'm sorry. I see RR and I think Railroad. It's just going to happen, especially with the way that they finished this matchup out. You take map number 1 off the board, they drop 2 rounds. Period. Perfect. End of story. It's exactly what they needed to do. So I just look for RR to continue on this roll. Papa Chalky Milk, though, you talk about getting back in the lab. They can do that. And they've got a great coach that can really, as long as he's watching this footage and he's taking notes, they can really come back and make this more and more interesting every week.
Yeah, and again, this is the second week they've managed to get in semifinals. So, they got a lot of potential. Reliant, their coach, I mean, he's putting in that work, and I think he's going to be great for, just bettering this team overall. This is the time to get better after all. Hey, it's not a bad spot to be top 4 in the last 2 weeks, right? So, hey, they can always improve and get better and better. But again, like you said, those weapon placements, I think that's going to be absolutely critical. They're going to have to force a fight up close and personal, or they're just gonna fall apart. But hey, good job for Double R. They secure their spot in Grand Finals once again, looking to be back-to-back champions. I like what I'm seeing from them. They're great across the board. We're going to talk a little bit more about them when it comes to Grand Final time.